that Kenny Omega was not going to lose to Jungle Boy Jack Perry, but there was a story. There was psychology. You was rooting for Jungle Boy.
I'll tell you something. If he doesn't capture your wallet, if he doesn't capture your mind, your feelings, for sure he'll capture your heart. He can't help it. Jungle Boy belongs to all of us. I think the secret is the hair.
Hangman Page has always been ready, right? And this is why I love. No. And I tell you why. We were all championing him to win the first ever AEW Championship match against Chris Jericho. But what happened?
He wasn't ready. What happened?
No. The fans were not ready yet.
Return of Edge. Edge returned this week to the WWE. Finally.
Whoop-de-doo-dah. Someone called Daniel Bryan and inserted him again.
What is up, everyone? Welcome to this week's episode of the Weekly Finisher. My name is Beefy Supreme.
Beef Supreme!
And to my left is the dashing debonair D-Town A-Styles.
What's up? What's good? It's your boy A-Styles.
Woo, woo! Another great week in wrestling, Ace. And how are you doing? I want to know real quick. How are you doing?
You know, no one ever asked me that question.
I never asked you.
No one ever asked me that question. I'm actually pretty good. I'm doing pretty good. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. No, we're doing pretty good, man. It was a great week in wrestling this week.
A great week for the Jungle Boy himself as well, Jack Perry.
Jungle Boy Jack Perry, baby.
Main event of AEW Dynamite this week. The Jungle Boy got a title shot against the man draped in gold, Kenny Omega.
The wrestling god.
The wrestling god. They went toe-to-toe for about 20 minutes. What you think?
Let me tell you something. In this business, you have good matches and you have great matches, but this was a phenomenal match. When I tell you I was on the edge of my seat, we all knew going in that Kenny Omega was not going to lose to Jungle Boy Jack Perry, but there was a story. There was psychology. You was rooting for Jungle Boy. There was one win in this match, and that winner was Jungle Boy Jack Perry. And I tell you why. Because we are left wanting him to beat or to become a champion one day.
Well, we got a winner, and it wasn't Jack Perry. It was Kenny Omega.
No, I know, but what I'm saying is he won. Okay, first of all, yes, I you took the rug right out of me. I said, yes, of course Kenny Omega won, but I'm saying in this match, breaking kayfabe-wise, there was no winners or losers. Because in my opinion, they both put on a hell of a match. And honestly, the way I view it, Jungle Boy Jack Perry became a main eventer.
Okay. I'm just messing with you. I know. Jungle Boy Jack Perry took everyone's hearts. He's impressive. This kid is only like 24. I think MJF is only like, all these kids are really young. So yeah. Jungle Perry has a look to him. And the thing that impressed me the most is him and Kenny are clean, man. That match was so clean.
Oh, yeah.
When that superplex off of the top rope where he grabbed Jungle Boy's leg, it's just so crisp, so good. And Jungle Boy has this innate sympathetic feel to him that not everyone has. This match reminded me of The Undertaker against Jeff Hardy, that infamous ladder match on Raw. And, and it felt like that because that match happened in 2001, 2002.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until 8 years later that Jeff Hardy became a main eventer. I don't know. Yeah. I don't know if Jungle Boy's ready, but you know what? This is the beginning of us seeing the future. And he came out looking like $1 million.
I'm telling you, man, and this is the thing. We already knew Jungle Boy was over. We already knew Jungle Boy. And I'm keeping it real. Jungle Boy is a heartthrob. Jungle Boy is out there. He's out there. He's a good-looking guy. He's a good-looking man. And let me tell you something. That man has main event status all written over his face. And I'm telling you right now, that man in that match looked like $1 million.
I'll tell you something. If he doesn't capture your wallet, if he doesn't capture your mind, your feelings, for sure he'll capture your heart. Because you can't help it. Jungle Boy belongs to all of us. He's the heart and soul of AEW. Jungle Boy is the heart and soul.
Wow.
Jungle Boy is the heart and soul of AEW. And I think he showcased that yesterday. He looked great.
No, hands down. Again, we look back, and I know a lot of people have been saying he's not ready. He's not ready. Jungle Boy's still green.
He might not be ready, honestly. He lost. Okay, we got to remember, Kenny Omega is the greatest possibly of this generation. And he went toe-to-toe with him. He gave him like 7 V-triggers, man.
You have to understand, and this is what I'm saying, the psychology in that match is picture perfect. This is what I'm saying. You have good matches, you have great matches, but this was a phenomenal match. Why? Because Kenny Omega went in there with Jungle Boy Jack Perry, and the storyline there was, Jungle Boy Jack Perry, you ain't on my level. Well, ladies and gentlemen, Jungle Boy Jack Perry went in there and stood toe-to-toe with arguably the greatest wrestler of our generation. And that man put in a clinic. That man put in work. Although he came up short, it showed that, by God Almighty, Jungle Boy Jack Perry has it. And that it is almost ready to be floored.
Hey, can I just say, I'm not sure if that was his mother by ringside or his family, but they all have the same hair. They all have the beautiful hair. I think the secret is the hair. I think so too. My own Jungle Boy hair. I don't think it's quite there, but
a little bit more texture.
You need a little bit more texture. I think Jungle Boy is gonna inspire a whole generation of little boys to grow out their hair, and they'll look cool at school. And I don't even think he'll ever be Jungle Man. I think Jungle Boy is always going to be like a way of life, the way you feel. And that's what he gave off, man.
And that's what I'm saying. At the end of the day, Jungle Boy Jack Perry, at the end of the day, Jungle Boy Jack Perry, man, I can't sing more of his praise than I already am. I'm so excited for what happens next. I'm honestly wanting him to go against Miro. I think there's so many potential for Miro and him and Jungle Boy Jack Perry. Let me tell you something. AEW right now is working and creating superstars and creating stars. And my God Almighty, it's a great time to be an AEW fan.
So they are creating stars. And that kind of takes me to the next point. As always, I love to start an AEW episode with Hangman Page. And this week he went one-on-one against Powerhouse Hobbs. And I want to focus on Hangman, but just real quick. Powerhouse Hobbs is impressive, man. That guy is so good. His matches always impress me. But Hangman Page, if Jungle Boy is a heart and soul of AEW, Hangman Page is a nerve system that makes this place run. The blood flows through Hangman. And Hangman, I feel like Jungle Boy yesterday showed that he's the future. I think Hangman is already here. What do you think?
Here's the thing, right? Hangman Page has always been ready, right? And this is why I love. No. And I tell you why. And let me tell you something, Beef. Let me tell you something. Hangman Page has always been ready, and I'll tell you why. Before the inception of AEW, Hangman Page was the white baby face that everybody loved. They loved him. We were all championing him to win the first ever AEW Championship match against Chris Jericho. But what happened?
He wasn't ready. What happened?
No. The fans were not ready yet.
No, that's not okay.
No. And I tell you why. Because the moment Hangman Page was going to go against Chris Jericho, everybody was like, "Oh my God, I don't want Hangman to beat Chris Jericho." No, they're forced getting him. Again, that's what I'm saying. He was not ready yet.
Like saying,
and look what happened.
No, that's like saying the food was actually cooked great. It's just your taste buds are stupid. No,
exactly.
Sometimes the food.
That's exactly what happens. In wrestling, that's exactly what happens. Look what happened to Roman Reigns. Nobody was on the Roman Reigns trail, and now when that food got a little bit of flavor. That's everybody drinking that Kool-Aid.
Hangman Page is obviously the future of this company along with all the other names. But I think they try to push him as a main face. Kind of like when Kenny Omega came on board to AEW. No matter what, we didn't need to see him like stack up wins or anything. We knew he was a main eventer right off the bat. We just know that. Hangman Page wasn't that. You could say the fans weren't ready, but if the fans aren't ready, then you don't have a product. Like the fans are what tells you what's ready. And
that's what I'm saying. The fans weren't ready yet.
No, Hangman Page has established himself slowly regaining like the full support of everyone. I don't agree that he was always ready, but you know what? I agree that he's ready now. My question to you is, we have Sammy Guevara talking about like being the future of this company. We have Hangman Page, the future of this company. We have Jungle Boy as the future of this company.
MJF as well.
At some point, Kenny's gonna have to lose the title, and I don't know if any of these guys are truly ready to take over as the champion of AEW, except for Hangman.
It's getting to the point where the pond that was almost shallow, their sharks are not growing, right? And that's the beauty of AEW, right? And that's one thing that I love about AEW. We started a pond where there was only 3 big sharks and everybody else was small little babies.
Yeah.
Right? There were still babies. Now we're in a pond where there are sharks, there are baby sharks, and they're about to be ready for the chomping, and they're getting ready.
But I don't know if those sharks can take on the OG sharks. That's my point. Like Kenny, I was thinking, we just saw, I want to give praise to Jungle Boy displaying a great showcase to everyone on primetime TV on a Saturday. Like, it was sexy. It felt like a pay-per-view. But we have the next pay-per-view coming up. We have All Out. We have the summer coming up. We need a next big pay-per-view feud. Who does Kenny even fight?
This is just me. I feel like it should be Christian.
No, I knew you were. Oh, so there goes the future of AEW.
I'll tell you why. Let me finish. Hold on. I'll tell you why. And I'm not saying this should be for All Out, but you forget, we have a couple of big, and I mean big, special AEW Dynamites coming up.
Yeah.
Right? I think it should be right now, Christian.
Okay, but I'm okay with Christian taking on it, maybe even feuding on the way to All Out. My thing is, at some point, either All Out or Full Gear, Kenny is going to have to maybe even potentially lose the title.
I think it's setting up to be Hangman versus Kenny Omega. The story writes itself.
Okay, I agree. I think I'm kind of on board with this. I think I'm okay with Christian maybe feuding with Kenny for the next 2 months or so. And then it culminates into Hangman in front of a live audience wins the title at All Out. That's not a bad prospect.
Yeah. And that's what I'm saying. You have to understand the story. There is a storylines going. All the threads are leading in to the main storyline, and that's the beauty of Hangman.
And the beauty of AEW, they mix everything, and it's excellent.
I love it.
It's excellent. Something that AEW is not mixing well. It is this damn Inner Circle and Pinnacle feud that I am tired of. I am so tired of this. And so this week again, we have Conan coming out, speaking on behalf of Proud and Powerful. And it culminates with Sammy and MJF going against each other again. And they're going to fight next week again. And Jericho is hurt again. What are we doing?
Are you not liking this?
Why would I like it?
Okay, let's run this back. Okay, let's run this back.
No, I don't want to.
No. Let's run this back. Okay, let's take a page of the Attitude Era book, right? When we had the Nation of Domination versus DX, right?
Yes.
And we already had that match back when it was Hunter Hearst Helmsley and Rocky Maivia.
Yes.
Right? And then we had The Rock, which is already The Rock. Yes. And then we had the Cerebral Assassin Triple H, right?
Yes.
So that's the continuation, right?
There was a
continuation.
Yes.
This is the same thing happening here, ladies and gentlemen.
Well,
you have the Inner Circle, and you have the Pinnacle.
It's
and now there's oh, come on.
First off, it is an insult.
Come on.
It's an insult to even put MJF in that category. Second of all, The Rock and Hunter Hearst Helmsley were feuding, but they never had a blow-off match. The most they had was a ladder match at SummerSlam 98. Like, that's the most blow-off they had early in their, Nation DX eras. But Sammy and MJF feuding against each other, they already had a Stadium Stampede brawl. They already had,
But that was the group, though. That's what I feel like you don't understand. That's the group.
They already had blood and guts. How else can you, what... I don't get it. What is supposed to finish this feud?
But that's what I'm trying to get you to understand. That's the group, though. You see what I'm saying? Those were two entities clashing against each other. Now we're diving deeper into the story and looking at MJF versus Sammy Guevara. That writes itself. We have FTR versus Pride and Powerful. That rises up. We have Jake Hager versus.
It sounds like the group's all over again. All you're doing the same thing.
But you're giving them a separate highlight, and they're doing great. You cannot lie to me.
We had those separate highlights going into Blood and Guts.
Yes, and we just got snippets, though. We only got snippets. We didn't get the full brawls. We didn't get the full matches.
Oh, boy.
Did we not? Did we get a full-fledged match between Sammy Guevara and MJF? No. Did we get a full-fledged match?
Like, that's the thing. Like, how does this benefit? Like, Sammy Guevara came out and said, listen here, bitch. Like, I don't need this. I'm going to finish you off next week. If Sammy beats MJF, I don't see how that benefits his career. I'd rather see him feud with maybe even Orange Cassidy or someone that's more important.
MJF right now is a dastardly heel. Okay,
he's always been a dastardly heel, but he doesn't elevate anyone.
When Sammy Guevara came out, that man got an Austin pop.
Yeah, he did.
Okay, that man is white hot right now.
He's white hot. I said the next Rock. That's what I said.
So how do you not see the similarities of a Dwayne Johnson and a Hunter Hearst Helmsley?
Because they didn't have a blowout. If DX and the Nation had a War Games match and they killed each other in the ring, I'd be like, well, that's it, man. Like, what? You have nothing else to prove. Hunter and The Rock never had that, and that's why there was always a constant, like, you got me this time, but I'm gonna get you next time. And you know when it ends? When you run over Stone Cold with a car, when you throw Mick Foley off Hell in a Cell. Once you have a big moment, you're done. That's it. The Rock and Triple H never had that, so you keep going. I don't know, man. I'm tired of this feud.
I guess for you, I understand it does for a lot of people. I guess I'm assuming it's become tiresome, but honestly, this is great. We always talk, and I'm telling you why. Because we complain about these storylines don't make sense. We don't have anything going on. There's nothing to stick our teeth in. We finally have something to stick our teeth in, and people are like, I'm tired of it. I don't get it. I just don't get it. I just don't get it.
That's fair. Last quick topic before we move on. Last quick point before I move on. I mentioned Jungle Boy. I mentioned Hangman. Is Sammy Guevara ready to main event? Man,
I think he's ready to go against Miro, but he's not ready to main event.
Okay. I find that interesting. All right. Next topic. The women put on a clinic this week. Chris Statlander, who hasn't lost, I believe, since she came back from her return she came back on her return, took on the Bunny. The Bunny put on a clinic, and she delivered the goods, man. The Bunny went one-on-one against Chris Statlander, and I mentioned it to you guys behind the scenes. The Bunny did an interview with the AEW podcast, and she said that she had imposter syndrome for a while. And she basically said it was so bad I even couldn't wrestle. So to me, I was like, oh, I'm going to see the Bunny in action against someone that the crowd really respects as a wrestler, Chris Statlander. And the Bunny killed him, man. It was an excellent match.
Yeah, and I want to touch on that subject, right? Because this is something that I've been noticing, especially in AEW, where there are storylines happening right now, but everything is on you, right? And you have the Bunny who is a veteran of the game. She's been wrestling for a long time now. She was in Impact Wrestling. She was in a lot of other promotions. And to come to AEW and say that she had imposter syndrome, that says a lot. This is a lot about the product. This is a lot about how so many people are just firing on all cylinders. It's still a
dog-eat-dog world, Ace.
It really is. And that's why I'm saying where it comes to this point where everybody in AEW is firing in all cylinders, trying to get over, trying to become that top dog. Because it's true. AEW right now is the hottest promotion in wrestling, and I can see why the Bunny had that in the beginning. But I'm so happy because when I watched that match, you can tell just how great she was doing, just how comfortable she felt in her own skin.
I found it interesting because she's been around since the beginning, and over the past few weeks, it's been like Tay Conti, and it's been Thunder Rosa, and Britt Baker finally got her shot, and we just talked about Jungle Boy, MJF, Sammy, Hangman. These are all the people that were established through AEW, and I was just impressed that the Bunny has kind of gone under the radar, but yesterday she showed that she's part of that conversation, and honestly, like, she'll probably, just the way Tay Conti got a few weeks pushed, and then we all ended up loving her, I think the Bunny's on her way, man.
And this is another thing, right? This is a problem that's going on, not a problem for us, but a problem for Dr. DMD, where she used to call herself, she's the face. of this women's division, you better watch what you say. Because as we just said, the women in this division are kicking ass and taking names. You have Jade Cargill, Chris Statlander, the Bunny.
There's a lot, man. There's
a lot of big names. And now you have Nyla chomping off the bit. You have to be careful, Britt, because before then, you were the face during the pandemic era. But ladies and gentlemen, we just got vaccinated and we're on the road. So be very careful because the face might get her ass beat.
You know what's funny? I like, is it Sunny Rose? I forgot who was that. There's so much talent.
So many talent
that don't get featured because we only have 2 hours every week. And yeah, there's some of them barely get a vignette on TV every week. We have a lot of talent. I'm just happy about that. And
that's why it's so important for AEW. And this is another reason why for me, it's so important for as a wrestling fan or as an AEW fan to really go back and watch AEW. And I know Beefy is going to be like, nobody watches Dark. But I'm telling you right now,
I don't watch
if you go back and watch AEW Elevation or AEW Dark, you see the vignettes. You see the flourishing of characters coming in. Bunny was on Dark for a while, and she was finding a stride. And then she went into Elevation, and now she's on Dynamite. If you followed the Bunny's career through AEW, she was progressing. Same thing with Tay Conte and Sunny Kiss. They were legitimately going in there.
It's Sunny Kiss, not Sunny Rose. There is so much talent, and I don't even blame myself. I think it was Kenny Omega who said, I can't even keep up with all the wrestling nowadays, man. So, you know what? It's a lot going on.
It's true. It's a lot. That's why it was AEW Rampage coming up.
No, we don't need more. We don't need more.
We'll see what happens.
Okay.
We'll see what happens.
I'm going to take a sharp left turn here and leave.
Oh!
I am. We're turning left, everyone. We're leaving.
Oh!
We're leaving our AEW destination, and we are going to a brand new place. The return of Edge. Edge returned this week to the WWE. Finally, to the raucous crowd. We finally get our one-on-one match, possibly for SummerSlam. Ace, tell me, why are you happy, and how do we get you even happier?
What are we doing? What are we doing? What are we doing?
I want to know. What are your thoughts? I want to know.
Why are we happy? First of all, it's already etched in pen. After at Talking Smack, they've already the powers that be have already pitted it. It will be Roman Reigns versus Edge at SummerSlam. Whoop-de-doo-dah. Someone called Daniel Bryan and inserted him again. Because, ladies and gentlemen, what are we doing?
Well, can I just say?
What are we doing?
You tend to do this. You didn't mind when Daniel Bryan went one-on-one against Roman Reigns after SummerSlam. I mean, after WrestleMania. You did not mind after Daniel Bryan came back and went against Roman Reigns after WrestleMania. You didn't mind. I didn't hear any complaints. So why do you mind Edge?
Because that's the way the story is happening. Here's my issue, right?
Yeah.
Edge was gone 6 months. Actually, I don't even know how long. I'm not even going to count the months.
It's only been like 3 months. Come on.
He's been gone for 3 months. Why does he get a title shot?
So as far as I'm aware in my wrestling knowledge, you always have a rematch clause anytime you take on the champion. And this was a triple threat match.
He did not win.
And so Daniel Bryan got his rematch clause as well. And they ended up fighting.
I thought the rematch clause happens to the champion who lost the belt.
That's possibly true.
So then he doesn't have a rematch clause. Here's the issue. This is my issue. Why?
Wait. Before you get to
I'll tell you why.
Before you get to your issue. Okay, maybe you're right. Sure. Who else would take on Roman? Like, what do you want?
What you just said right now is why I'm tired of the WWE. Right?
And you just put Christian in the main event in AEW. So
I said. Yes, okay, look, and I'll tell you why. I said at the beginning of this show, I said, listen to me. I said, the reason why we love AEW, we named them. All these future stars happening.
And none of them can take on him as the next potential headline, right? You said, let's throw in Christian. So what? I said,
no.
I got you.
Put words in my mouth. You asked me a question. You said, hey, who else for Ken Ming? I said, right now, we have an open field. We should put in Christian, maybe put in Big Show, maybe even put in Mark Henry if you want to just to fill in those big marquee matches that you're going to be touring. That's what I said. Here's the difference, though. Here's the difference. When it comes to Edge and Roman Reigns, we've already seen that at WrestleMania.
Again, I'm going to throw back the words back at you. We've already seen MJF and Sammy, right? We've already seen things. I think it's more of a personal preference rather than an actual critique. I feel like you're okay seeing Sammy.
But is that the main event, though?
Well, it main event at the last pay-per-view, and that was annoying. I got to see
that was Stadium Stampede match, right? Yeah. That was a marquee match in and of itself.
But you told me that you compared them to Triple H and The Rock, and Triple H and The Rock were main eventing, and you said you didn't mind that either. So,
and I didn't mind that. But here's the issue, though.
They main evented all the time.
Here's the issue, though. The issue with this is you have a lot of talent in the back.
Who?
I can name right now. Cesaro. Big E.
Cesaro already went one-on-one, and it was
Seth Rollins.
Seth Rollins already took on Roman Reigns before. So what else?
Well, you have all these other guys in there.
Who?
You have Xavier Woods. You have Kofi Kingston.
Xavier Woods just went one-on-one on Raw, and that was just okay. It was kind of just like
First of all, I'm gonna need you to put some respect. I'm gonna need you to put some respect on Xavier Woods.
You're not being genuine. You're not being genuine. You know that these aren't names that are ready. I love Jimmy and Jey Uso. They're not ready. I'm sorry. Edge is a main eventer, and Edge hasn't taken on Roman Reigns one-on-one. This is a top-notch fantasy match, and I don't understand why there would be any issue.
So then what happens after that?
That's the thing. Stop planning and enjoy the show. What do you mean what
happens? No, but see, that's the problem. That's the problem. What you just said is the reason why I can't enjoy this. Because I could have said the same thing. I said, you know what? Stop complaining and enjoy MJF and Sammy Guevara.
I'm not complaining about the future. I'm complaining about now. I
am complaining about now.
No. You're complaining.
Edge can go against somebody else.
After Edge, I don't care what happens after Edge. We'll figure that out when it happens. My point being, right now, this very moment, wrestling fans don't enjoy because they want to overbook. Edge is a big name. If Edge is on your roster, Edge is on SmackDown. What do you have him do instead, Ace?
I would have him elevate the future guys.
So what do you have Roman do? What do you have Roman do at WrestleMania? Oh, that's right.
Honestly,
you're excited to see John Cena return. Come on, man.
Honestly, what I would have done, if I was booking this, if I had the pen, I would have a family feud. I would honestly have a triple threat match between Jimmy J and Roman Reigns.
Do you think they're ready?
Doesn't matter if they're ready.
It does matter because you know what?
Because I tell you why.
You have to sell main events. It does matter. I don't know.
I tell you why. It's real simple. If you create the story writes itself, and they're gonna be ready. We said the same thing about Jungle Boy, right? Is he ready? No. We know who's gonna win that match, but let me tell you something. That would have been a great main event.
No, but exactly. They could main event. Congratulations. Jungle Boy's not gonna main event all out. Like, that's what you need to understand. Everything you're telling me, I would do a triple threat. Really? A triple threat against those two guys at SummerSlam? I don't buy it. I don't buy that he's gonna lose. So, like, you could say
but it's not about him losing though. Same thing with Kenny Omega. Kenny Omega was not gonna lose. We don't want to take the championship away from Roman Reigns.
If I'm paying for a pay-per-view and you're taking my hard-earned money, I want to be surprised and I want to go in not knowing what's going to happen. If I'm going in knowing that it's just like any regular episode and I know who's going to win, I don't want to see that. Like, I'm sorry, Edge and Roman.
But that's WrestleMania every time, though.
No, SummerSlam is coming up.
That's the thing, though. That's the thing. If you just, it's so predictable.
No, it's not.
It's so. We knew Sasha Banks was going to win.
No,
we knew that Roman.
Sasha did not win.
We knew. I'm sorry. Excuse me. We knew that Bianca Belair was going to win. We knew that Roman Reigns was going to retain. We knew this stuff.
No, we didn't.
Oh, come on.
No, we didn't. You're ridiculous.
Oh, come on. Come on.
And in
fact,
even if you do want to say that WrestleMania is predictable, the whole point of WrestleMania is to elevate the person that's ready. Bianca was ready. Roman Reigns is ready. Jimmy and Jay are not ready. I love them, and I think we should keep building. They're not ready. And I think you're naive if you think someone like Edge, who's like one of the biggest names of all time, possibly top 10, are definitely top 20 all time. You're not going to use him in your main event in front of a packed audience, but yet you're rooting for John Cena to return? Come on, man.
I understand what you're saying. And we talked about this last show. Who should headline SummerSlam to get those butts and seats? Yep. If you think it's going to be Edge and Roman Reigns, fine, and I agree with you.
I mean, if you
they had to bring back Edge, and that's fine, and I guess you're right then. I guess you're right. My issue is I feel like I already know this match is how it's going to play out. I don't see Edge beating Roman Reigns. I guess the young cub Edge is going to get the rub. We'll see what happens. But to me, I just don't see this as a match that I need to see again.
That's fair.
Because honestly,
but you haven't seen it again. So,
and I tell you why. Because I wanted it for WrestleMania, not for SummerSlam.
Fair. Not every match has to have a rub. Sometimes matches are just fun. You know,
I agree.
And I feel like I get your point, but sometimes you just gotta go for the big names. We always opine on what the writers should do. We just did it. We just went on a rant for like 20 minutes. We always opine on what the writers should do, but one writer, Ace, didn't seem as interested this week. Hopefully I'm pronouncing her name right. Kenise Mobley just got hired by the WWE, and Kenise Mobley just got fired by the WWE this week, and she got fired this week. And she got fired because she went on a podcast and kind of, ragged on the product completely.
Yeah.
I saw the headline, so I went in and listened to the podcast, and oh my goodness, can we talk about professional etiquette and overall, like, the mentality we should have on getting hired? Ace, what happened here?
Here's the issue with this, right? The issue with this is if I was a writer, right? If I was going on for a job, right, and I get invited to go talk about it on a platform that's going to be put out, especially on a platform where it's wrestling, right, where headlines become clickbaits and clickbaits become headlines, right? Why would I go in there and legitimately just say, I don't watch the product, I don't know nothing about the product, but hey, you know what? I got the job.
I don't know if my mom is happy that I'm writing for the product. Like,
what are you doing? But here's my issue, though.
What's your issue?
There's two people to blame here. It's not just her fault. It's partially her fault, but I believe it's also WWE's fault.
I don't want to come in and just diss on, a writer that's struggling out there.
I don't either.
But you know what? You kind of like you went on a podcast and you make yourself public right after you get hired. You don't do that for any job, much less something so niche. Like we take wrestling very seriously. It's a very niche product, and you can't do that, man. And WWE, they do this because I feel like they don't want anybody like kind of questioning the final say that Vince McMahon has on the product. But my goodness, this was a terrible, terrible situation.
It was bad for both parties, and I'll tell you why. Because if you're WWE, you're hiring a writer who may have the credentials that you need. But here's the issue, though. If you're hiring somebody who doesn't know the product, that's also a problem there, too, with WWE. If I'm a restaurant and all I sell is sushi, right, and I hire a chef that only knows how to make pizza, what am I doing?
And then,
right? What am I doing?
And then your chef goes on a podcast and says, who likes sushi anyways?
That's exactly what happened. So this is why I say, as a whole, it's a bad look on the writer, and it's also a bad look on WWE. And it explains why Monday Night Raw and why probably Edge came back, because we have writers in the room who don't know what the hell they're doing. Just saying.
It does explain a lot of Raw. SmackDown is fine. SmackDown, they struggle a little, but they're fun.
I guess.
If you haven't noticed by now, when we took that left turn into this new WWE universe, it's not always like roses.
It's not always roses and gold petals anymore.
No, it's not, guys. And I'm going to keep it going. So this week, one of my favorite wrestlers has me questioning myself. The boss herself, Sasha Banks.
Oh.
So I am a big advocate of Sasha as a wrestler, and I feel like she got an opportunity doing The Mandalorian. Rooted for her too. Oh, that's interesting because The Mandalorian got into. Okay, well, and so she's she liked a few things a while back during the pandemic that were a little questionable. But you know what? Everyone tries to question a few things when we're going through these rough times. We had a terrible administration in the past. So this week, she kind of ended up sharing or liking some things online that were really, really anti-science, very anti-vaccine. And now I'm left questioning, Ace. What do we do? Because we have...
Let's get to the shits. And this is the reason why I say this. Because, and I said this on our Twitter, right? I said it's the conversation on Twitter is very interesting. Because she was trending last night and also Friday. Because
so she was trending Saturday and Friday.
She was trending Saturday and Friday. And I tell you why. Because her fans, almost all of them, said it's her opinion. Just because she has an opinion doesn't make her a bad person.
I saw the opposite.
and I said this why? Because you have some who came after her and some of her stands with the Sasha Banks profile pictures backing her up. Here's my issue. You can't deny science, fam. You can't deny science. I understand you in The Mandalorian. Maybe you've been hanging too much with Gina Carano. There's an issue here. There's an issue here, fam.
I just want to explain real quick. She liked some anti-vax posts. Sasha Banks liked some anti-vax posts, and it was sus. It was weird. But I think her likes this week were way more sus, and so that's how we ended up here.
But it's not even just that. It's the fact that she follows this, and I want to say this conspiracy theory.
It is
almost
terrible. It's Facebook experts. Yeah.
I mean, it's gotten to the point where they post things about holy water and different crazy theory. Like if you legitimately go on this page, it's called like the Thoughtful Mind or something like that. It's a lot of BS, right? Now, Beef Supreme started up this segment saying it got me questioning myself. It didn't question myself at all.
Oh.
Right? There is no. Oh, like, no. You either get the vaccination or you don't, fam.
No. Well,
there is no in between.
So here's my thing. I agree. If you're anti-vax, I don't want to hear it. But I am asking, as a fan of professional wrestling, if your favorite wrestlers, we're no longer in the 80s where like Hulk Hogan is taking his vitamins and telling you to like drink your milk. Hulk Hogan is doing steroids in the back while that's happening. You know, like we can't deny behind the scenes anymore. So as a wrestling fan, are you okay splitting their wrestling's personal lives and their in-persona characters?
If we don't do it for artists and musicians, we shouldn't do it for wrestlers.
What do you do?
You have to look at them at the total package and say, you know what? I understand what you do for the business, but I just can't. I can't rock with you, my guy.
So are you done with Sasha?
I am. I think she's a great wrestler. I think she does a lot for this business. But the issue is that if that's your take, fam, then I can't rock with you. It's that situation where and I said this on my other podcast on the Weekly Replay. If you voted for Trump, I can't rock with you.
So here's my
thing.
Yes, I get it. I'm never gonna oppose that. Here's my thing. Is it better to stay quiet then? Like what should we? Because I wanted to discuss this and maybe even go. I don't know how long we're gonna go on this. It's a new era. If you stay quiet, I take that as an offense because I feel like everyone should speak up. But then if you speak up, you're gonna have opinions that might differ from other people. And wrestlers are wrestlers. You know, they've been out there hustling since they were 15, 16. They didn't all go to college. Some of them didn't graduate high school. Some of them grew up in podunk towns. So
I get that.
What if Sasha, I think she's terribly misguided here.
I get that.
But I've never heard Charlotte say an opinion. I've never heard Becky say an opinion. So I don't know what I don't know. That's why I'm questioning myself. Because at what point do you lose everyone?
But here's the thing, though, right? We're living in a digital age where I have a computer in my hand, right? That we're not in an age where I have to go to the library and research. No, you're a simple Google search or a simple research away from research.
Some of those places take you to the Facebook pages.
I get that. I get that. But if you're getting your, but I mean, I just feel like it's common sense though. Why would you get your news from Facebook? Right?
Where would you get it from? Like, that's the thing. These people aren't educated. Like, there's people that are misguided in where they get their stuff.
So are you saying, so what you're saying is...
What I'm saying is it's not that common sense. Like, everyone isn't as educated as...
All right, fine.
And
no, you're right. and I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why you're right. Because here's the thing. Maybe you're right, right? Maybe you're right. Maybe people aren't educated. And I'm following what you're saying because here's the reason why. If you want to go down that path and say people aren't educated, people don't know how to research, people don't know how to do that, that's fine, right? People have learning curves, people have learning disabilities.
Yeah.
I understand that. So then, if ignorance is bliss and they're uneducated, so they would just pat them on the head and say, "Oh, it's okay. You're just dumb. You don't know what you're saying. You're just dumb." Is that how we should treat this with Sasha Banks? Oh, sweetie, you're beautiful, but you're dumb as hell. Oh, it's okay.
That's what I'm asking. And that's why I'm questioning myself because
I don't know.
Even someone like The Rock, I myself, The Rock is a huge fan favorite of everyone, and I love The Rock since I was young. But I am also really educated to the point where I really am. To the point where I know that The Rock doesn't speak up on issues, and it's purposeful. And because he doesn't do that, to me, it's harmful. But this past election, he took a stance. And a lot of fans criticize him for that. So even The Rock, who has been a public figure, barely took an official political stance last year. And so we were okay with being ignorant and in bliss with The Rock this whole time, right? So I don't know. I it's hard for me. You're right. You could either say you're just dumb, let's move on, or you could take it personal. I don't mind either. I'm still questioning myself, but that's why I wanted your opinion.
Well, see, now you got me questioning myself because now you're making me think. How should we handle going forward? We are in the age where you have to watch what you say. You have to be politically correct. You have to stand for what is right, and I love that, right? I love that we're being more open. And I love that we're being more sensitive to a lot of topics. The issue that I'm having is here now with the situation with Sasha Banks. How do we move forward, right? Do we address her and say, yo, you have to be accountable and have her do research? Or does she say a one-liner and say, oh, I'm sorry, I was questioning myself about the vaccine, but I got the vaccine and I'm okay now. And then we just wipe our hands and say, okay, you're good now, fam. Right? Well, actually, but is that just a play?
Well, if she apologized and said exactly that, you still wouldn't rock with her?
I don't know because it's so hard to figure out what's genuine and what's not genuine.
It is.
Right? It's at this case, now you have me redacting my statement and saying maybe we do have to separate the person and the character. At first I didn't want to. Hey, you know what? Maybe we have to. Maybe we have to look back. Maybe we have to go and look back at Chris Brown, R. Kelly, the rest, and say, is the artist or the artistry? I don't know. This is a larger conversation where you yourself as the person have to ask yourself,
that's fair.
How do we move forward?
That's fair. If any of you guys have comments, please leave comments. I want you guys to discuss this. And I also want you to leave these comments to us for this new terrain. I am heading out into our question of the week, Ace. Whoa. Question of the week. Edge made his great return this week. I want to know, Ace, what is your favorite wrestling return?
We talked about Dwayne Johnson. We talked about the electrified man non-sports entertainment.
We mentioned him a lot.
We did. And I'll tell you why. Because it was 7 years that he came back in WWE. I think it was in 2010, 2011.
Okay.
And the lights went off and all you saw was electricity. And we were like, oh my God, it's the Undertaker. And all you heard was, if you smell, and everybody went crazy. And we saw The Rock and he had the Just Bring It sign and it was all red and we were like shocked. We were shocked and bewildered and my God, I have goosebumps because even myself was shocked. And he came back and it was a once in a lifetime for John Cena.
Okay, I'm okay with that. There have been many memorable returns. WWE does a great job with those. Brock Lesnar's return, The Undertaker returning as the American Badass, Kane when Triple H returned, all these big names, anytime they returned were huge. WCW had a few, and most notably to me was when Hulk Hogan returned with Hulkamania back in '94, and to me that was really cool. But I mentioned all these companies, but to me, the most infamous of all time was in ECW. The Sandman was the hot. I know. Go back and go to YouTube and watch the Sandman return. I forgot the episode. He came back in 1999, and the Sandman just destroyed any pop you've ever heard. My goodness, I've never heard a bigger pop. The Sandman had that crowd singing Metallica the whole time. To me, still one of the greatest entrances of all time. And by far, that return, like, Google it. Sandman returned to ECW 1999. Nothing comes close to that reaction.
I forgot about that reaction, and that reaction was electrifying, to say the least.
Electrifying. You brought it back to The Rock.
Always.
Always. But that's it, man. A crazy week.
Crazy week.
Ace, where can they find us?
Ladies and gentlemen, you already know what it is. It is that time of the show where I tell you, that's right, you, those listening and those watching, where you can follow this podcast and this show. First of all and foremost, make sure you like and subscribe to Roger Talks Wrestling. Make sure you click the little bell down below and make sure you leave a comment so that we can interact with you. But not only that, if you at the mall, if you getting your vaccine, if you are going to go figure out if your mama, your daddy, your bald-headed granny is going to Walmart or Target, you can turn on the tunes, turn on Spotify, Apple Music, Google Play, Apple Music, not yet titled, but soon when they allow podcasts on their title platform. Anywhere else, Amazon Music, we are available to listen to you and all of our other shows on there as well. So make sure you like and subscribe.
Very, very nice, Ace. We put on a great product every week, and I just want to give a quick shout out. Our producer, Lesley Corral, is now an Emmy winner. And she helps us out every single week. She puts on this show for us. She handles both of us. She handles everything about this. So anything great you see about this show is coming from that.
Emmy producer. How you see now? Huh?
Woo! Woo! So thank you, Lesley, very much. Thank you, Ace. Thank you, everyone. And we'll be back next week.
Peace.